Can you fast for 5 to 7 days every 2 months to heal mitochondria? Not exactly. No, not really. Um, uh, what you you get a bit of healing, but not much. Um, to actually heal mitochondria, you have to lower the level of the damaging substances in your body. If you've accumulated, like let's say in your fat stores, you've got a whole lot of seed oils that you've accumulated. Well, when you start losing weight, you're releasing a whole lot of deuterium. That's why I usually say to people use a low dose vitamin E jarrow, and also use either a high fat diet, or if you can afford, deuterium depleted water. So in that early stage, I don't recommend high protein. I actually recommend really high fat, like 20% protein and 80% fat. And the reason for that is that I want people to lose weight and dilute their deuterium levels so they don't get more damage to their mitochondria. And I want them to continue doing that for a couple of years and not worry about weight issues or anything like that, and focus on healing their mitochondria by lowering the deuterium level, getting better sleep, blue blocking glasses to reduce, so they've got high melatonin at night, they can sleep better and repair, and amplify the melatonin production using taurine in the evening. So it actually is important, sulfonic acid, for the production of melatonin, let alone it sort of helps synergistically with it repair the mitochondria and improve them. Because ultimately, if we're going to force biogenesis of mitochondria, we want healthy stuff to be cloned from the previous ones. If the previous ones are damaged, you'll be cloning bad stuff, sending signals and saying to the cell in greater numbers, we can't produce enough energy through this way. You better turn on the old programs and upregulate your oncogenes. You get it? We don't want too much over amplification of signal telling you. This is why I usually say severe mitochondrial damage or cancer, I don't necessarily really recommend fasting to a lot of people. It's quite the opposite. I want a strong, robust body, less catabolic, and don't fear protein and fat. So that's the sort of thing. The only reason why we go for the higher fat reason is to dilute deuterium. If we were to use deuterium water, DDW 85, then you could go up to 30% protein, and that would mean that you'd get enough protein to basically maintain your structures much better. Because that's another thing, we don't want to weaken our structures, and we need protein as enzymatic material for a whole lot of functions throughout the body as well. So it's yes, cancer uses a bit, but cancer uses everything. Like normal cells, cancer use everything else. Whatever you prevent normal cells from getting, including the immune system, cancer cells also can't get. So in the end, you damage your normal cells, you damage your immune system, and then in the end, cancer will get you anyway. So that's not a strategy for survival. That's the nonsense argument of reductionism that certain gurus promote. Keep mTOR down, keep this, as if that is actually driving cancer. It's not. It's basically energy deprivation at the cell level. The cell is saying, I don't have enough energy from oxidative phosphorylation because our mitochondria are not functioning well to produce ATP. So I'm going to basically do a reverse Krebs cycle, suck in as much deuterium as I can, because that's what a reverse Krebs cycle does, and produce as much bloody lactate as I can, because I need lactate to produce a lot of fermentation material to produce energy that way through fermentation. It's a primitive, old method that all cells used before oxygen existed on this planet. That's why it goes into this sort of state. You want to turn those oncogenes off, you need to fix the mitochondria and lower the deuterium damaging effect by reducing. So some people have got that part right. Some people just don't understand it. Reducing deuterium in the body is part of the thing, but then you need to heal it with melatonin, better sleep, and with the amplifying effects of taurine on the melatonin synthesis pathway, and also on lowering reactive oxygen species and repairing the electron chains, which is critical. Some other things also help a bit, as Richard reminded me, the Toco Sob vitamin E from Jarrow, yes, that helps as well. You've got cardiolipin, where after complex 4, which is important. That is a PUFA based type part of the membrane there of the electron chain, and that can get damaged and then become leaky, which means you can't hold a proton gradient to run through the ATP, to produce ATP through complex 5s. So that's an important thing. So there are other things that we need as well a bit in that regard.